It's Tuesday, March 24th. Today, frozen drains and flooded streets are causing headaches for many homeowners. One of them led to a war of words with a city councillor this weekend. Plus, following the money trail, a construction company owner at the center of the police headquarters debacle denies overcharging the city. We hear from what he had to say instead. And surveillance strategy, how one downtown safety organization plans to expand its CCTV program, putting more eyes on the city's core. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. It's also budget day in our province today. We're going to find out exactly what the provincial government plans to do and how to spend our money over the next year. We're going to have, of course, full coverage, and the Premier is going to join us at 8:15 to maybe give us a sneak peek on what we could expect. Okay. But Ainsley is also live at the Mennonite Heritage Gallery showing us a brand new art exhibit there, so we'll have that as well. But nice. The weather, it's cool this morning again.
It's all over the map, isn't it? I mean, that's spring in Manitoba, right? The hot, the cold. Not that we've had hot, but we have had cold. And this morning, you're right, it's feeling a little bit cool again. A lot of it has to do with those winds, nowhere near as strong as yesterday, but still, -8. It does feel a little more like -16 once you're factoring in that 21K wind out of the northeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 86%. It was pretty clear first thing this morning. We might start to see a few clouds building up throughout the day today. More of a mix of sun and cloud is what you can expect, but still a fair bit of sunshine through a lot of the province, in fact, all through east central Manitoba, northeastern Manitoba. Very clear conditions. Here you can see a few of those extra clouds in the very south and maybe more of them kind of closing in as the day goes on. So the futurecast, you can see what I'm talking about with the clearer conditions off to the east and throughout northern Manitoba, where we know it's been incredibly cold for the past several days now. We'll see these clouds kind of closing in. Just clouds for today. There will likely be some precipitation in areas to the north of us, so through much of central and parts of northern Manitoba, seeing some flurries throughout the afternoon. We'll be seeing some of that beginning overnight here in the south and then pretty much lasting throughout the day tomorrow. So here's a look at tomorrow, and we will be seeing not a fair bit of snow, but I mean, you know, one of those March snowstorms where it falls pretty steadily throughout the day today, or tomorrow, pardon me. And there you can see it right on into the evening time, still lingering. Now, after that, things will be clearing out. Slightly cooler temperatures, though, are expected for the latter part of the week. So right on the other side of that system, for example, -8, our expected high temperature. That will come with some sunshine and slowly warming up. We'll get back up to those plus digits. It just might take a little bit of time.
Thank you, Terry. Frozen drains, flooded streets, and frustrated homeowners. The spring thaw is leaving a number of homeowners with no choice but to take matters into their own hands and wade through icy water to clear blocked drains and catch basins. And video of flooded streets flooded social media over the weekend. As CTV's Daniel Homerson shows you, one video garnered a lot of attention, especially after it called out the area's councillor complaining about the city's slow response.
There's a lot more waterfront property around the city these days. The spring freeze-thaw cycle is plugging road drains and causing headaches for many homeowners.
I knew that I'll have to take matters in my hand. I took a shovel, whatever I had. I went inside the water and I started breaking the ice.
That's Gurishish Singh in the blue t-shirt, hacking away at ice under nearly knee-deep water over the weekend. He and a neighbor spent almost 2 hours trying to clear the drain on their street in Bridgewater.
By the time we were done, our feet were numb. I couldn't feel my feet for the next 20, 25, 30 minutes.
Singh says he contacted 311 to report the issue a couple days earlier, but later learned his request wouldn't be fulfilled until March 30th, 11 days after the fact. And he says calls to City Councillor Janice Lukes went unanswered until he called her out on social media, and it worked. Almost 24 hours later, she showed up at his door, but Singh says Lukes wasn't necessarily there to apologize.
The conversation was that why did I write that I called her 15 times, and I try to portray her image as someone who's inaccessible. I feel that if I'm paying property taxes, I need to be given those services which I'm promised.
In response, Luke says Singh did all the right things, but flooded streets are an issue every spring. seeing, and the city's ability to tackle them comes down to supply and demand. She says there's more than 60,000 drains and only 19 steamers, and city crews prioritize clearing based on potential for property damage. So Luke's is asking residents to help out if they're able to.
If you've got a problem, if the drain looks like it's plugged, if you're able to, pour some hot water on it, go out with a little pick and pick away at it.
And some Winnipeggers did just that this weekend. Tyler Crichton and a crew of friends hit the streets of St. James and had a little fun while they were at it.
The feeling you get when you actually get the water moving, right, and then you see it swirling and making the noises, that's the best part. Like, it's so good.
Their drain clearing video has since gone viral, and Crichton's encouraging others to get out and help.
I think it's good to come together as a community and take care of your community as neighbors, right?
Daniel Almerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you can't clear the drains, Luke says to report the issue through 311, sharing as much information as you can, including photos, to help city crews assess the situation. A city spokesperson says 10 crews are currently tackling drain problems across the city. The Manitoba government is set to deliver its annual budget today with a focus on affordability and health care. The budget comes down as Manitobans are coping with rising fuel prices and recent spikes in food inflation. The NDP government has already promised to try to keep grocery prices down and has said it might introduce more limits on the price of milk. The budget is also expected to contain promises of more money for health care as wait times remain long. Cabinet ministers in recent weeks have signaled money for nursing training and cardiac care, as well as funding for police and corrections officers. CTV News Winnipeg will have full coverage of Manitoba's Budget Day 2026 on CTV News at 5 and at 6 and our website ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. More details in the deadly crash involving an Air Canada Express flight at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Both pilots were killed and dozens were injured after the plane collided with a fire truck on the runway late Sunday night. CTV News has confirmed the names of the pilots as well as 2 other crew members on board Air Canada Flight 8646. Antoine Forêt was the captain of the flight and died in the collision. He was from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec, southwest of Montreal. His co-pilot was Mackenzie Gunther, who also died. A top U.S. aviation official is expressing condolences for the loss of both pilots.
I want to extend my sympathies to the families of the 2 pilots. These were 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy, that we're sitting here, with their loss. So my heart really goes out to the families.
The 2 flight attendants who both survived have been identified as Solange Tremblay and François Grenier. Tremblay suffered multiple fractures to one leg and required surgery after she was thrown from the plane. She was found still strapped in her jump seat. Officials in Colombia now say at least 66 people were killed when a military plane crashed shortly after takeoff. There were 128 people on board the transport plane. Colombia's transport minister said the plane was also carrying ammunition, some of which exploded in the crash. Survivors were taken to area hospitals. Colombia's president put part of the blame for the crash on bureaucracy that delayed his plans to modernize the military. Lockheed Martin, the company that made the plane, will help with the investigation. Police in Peel region outside Toronto say stolen vehicles worth more than $10 million have been recovered this year as part of an extensive investigation.
Collectively, the accused have significant histories involving violence, property crime, vehicle theft, dangerous operation, and fail to comply offenses.
Police say investigators recovered another 8 vehicles and weapons as part of a carjacking investigation. 6 people were arrested in connection with several violent incidents that took place in January. A new study suggests the cost of medication is preventing Black people in Canada from filling their prescriptions at a higher rate than white people. The research published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found Black people are less likely to have drug plans to cover the cost. Researchers analyzed data from 5 years of the Canadian Community Health Survey. It showed 10 to 15% of Black adults hadn't filled their prescriptions or had skipped doses, compared to about 6% of white adults. There is a baby boom happening at this zoo in Bulgaria. The zoo recently welcomed 3 lion cubs to its family. They are now getting to know their new home after making their public debut. The lions aren't the only newcomers to the zoo. A baby tiger was also born there last November. The zoo is also a rescue and rehab center, so it's always welcoming new animals. And with those faces, who could say no? Here's a look at the current situation now in traffic along Main and Broadway. It looks like things are starting off really smoothly this Tuesday morning. If you see anything out there, please give us a heads up. Let's go now to Ainsley Mayfield, who's live this morning at the Mennonite Heritage Gallery. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. And a lot of people might think going into the Canadian Mennonite University's gallery here that it's exclusively Mennonite works. And while you can find that at Together, that is on right now, it's a combination of various religions such as Sufism, Sikhism, Hindu as well. And we're going to be chatting with one of the artists this morning. And look how beautiful these pieces are. Also, when you go to the community gallery, you can give back by auctioning off one of these pieces. There is various, and we're going to show you this morning. There's also the connection desk, which is outside of this. So a third thing, there's 3 different things, Rochelle, and that focuses on grief. We'll tell you all about it coming up at 6:42.
Beautiful pieces already that we could see. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's going to be a cool start to the day.
Yeah, I'm feeling it for sure. A bit of a chill, both due to the temperature, slightly cooler perhaps than it's been, but also that bit of a breeze. And even though that breeze isn't that strong, -9, which is where we're now sitting, feels more like can't read that, 16, and that's with an 18K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 88%. It is still fairly clear out here, but we'll start to see a few more of those clouds building up into the afternoon. The morning hours expecting to enjoy a little bit of that sunshine and fairly clear conditions then, not just here through parts of the southeast, although like I said, we'll probably see those clouds stacking up into the afternoon, but pretty clear through east central Manitoba and northeastern Manitoba. But once again, northern Manitoba feeling the chill. I say it seems a little bit chilly here in the south, but we're still pretty close to seasonal. -8 would be a normal low, and we're sitting at -9. But then there's northern Manitoba, who's waking up to mid to high -30s this morning and wind chill values that are every bit as nasty. So some places you're bundling up a little more than others. Expect some sunshine today, but some snow moving in tonight. Taking a break right now, and we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Good morning. Caspian's owner admits to fabricating hundreds of invoices for the Winnipeg Police Headquarters project, but insists he didn't overcharge the city. In fact, he claims it was the city that shortchanged him about $1 million. That testimony coming Monday at the inquiry looking into the purchase and renovation of the former Canada Post building. CTV's Jeff Keel has more on how Caspian's owner explained what he says were falsified invoices.
Despite an admission he falsified invoices, Caspian's owner says he never overbilled the city for the police station project, and in fact, he is owed money.
How much was the amount that you were not paid?
Closer to $1 million.
Armick Babakanians is on the stand during the police HQ inquiry's second phase called the Money Trail. Earlier testimony from our forensic accountant estimated excess claims for the work ranged between $45 and $50 million.
What's your response to that?
Where is that money? I could use it right now.
Babakanian says he was frustrated the city was constantly demanding invoices for work being done, which he believes he was under no obligation to provide. Instead, he says he made up amounts based upon line items from a document jointly produced by Caspian and the city. The Caspian owner admitted he falsified invoices, which he said was wrong, but said he did not receive additional money as a result.
Did you submit these made-up invoices to get more money than what the price the city agreed to?
No, sir.
He testified he was actually shorted $1 million by the city.
Would you ever enter into another contract with the city of Winnipeg under the terms that they put forward in their contract?
I'm going to say the category, hell no.
Caspian settled a lawsuit with the city for up to $28 million. Babakanian says he is finalizing a deal with a financial institution to secure the necessary funds. He said he decided to settle for commercial and family considerations.
It just tore our family apart. It just did. I couldn't see the pain watching my granddaughters.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Babakanian says he has paid more than $5 million in legal fees as a result, and as a reminder, the purpose of the inquiry is to gather information, not to assign blame. Monday was the deadline day for the legal settlement. We reached out to the city for an update. We have not yet heard back. The Auditor General has released a report looking at the RCMP and its failure to recruit enough officers.
Biggest reason would be the slowness at which they process applications that they received. It isn't a shortage of interest in the RCMP.
The audit says the force failed to meet its own target for processing times.
We are ambitiously hiring 1,000 new officers or personnel over the next number of years. There are over 18,000 individuals who applied to be members of the RCMP.
The report says as of last fall, the RCMP was short 3,400 officers. Police in Nova Scotia are investigating a hit and run after a vehicle smashed into several parked cars. Captured by a dash cam, you can see a white Ford Escape smashing into at least 3 other cars in the parking lot. This is in the Bedford area. Police say the driver and passengers had all fled the scene, but one person connected to the crash was later found walking on a nearby highway and was arrested. The investigation is ongoing. If you're planning to travel now that the weather is warming up, experts are urging you to avoid the 5 most common dangers which send people to the ER each year.
Look, as an ER doc, we see it. Life changes in a second.
Emergency Room Medical Director Dr. Kevin Friel says he tends to see a surge in injuries from 5 preventable dangers each year. First, he says to be aware of heat-related illnesses, stay hydrated, and be aware of any medications that cause you to become dehydrated faster. The next is water emergencies. He says to have a swimming buddy or wear a life jacket if you can't swim.
Some of the houses they may be renting may have pools. You want to make sure that the pool is fenced. If the pool is not fenced, you want to assign an adult to all the kiddos.
Friel says alcohol-induced falls and head injuries are also a problem, and to avoid alcohol completely if you're getting into a boat or a body of water. Finally, don't drink and drive, and wear a helmet if you're traveling anywhere on an e-bike, scooter, or bicycle. Canada Life Centre saw a sold-out hockey crowd Sunday, but the fans weren't cheering on the Winnipeg Jets. More than 15,000 fans packed the arena as the Professional Women's Hockey League played its first ever game here in Winnipeg. The Takeover Tour brings the league to neutral cities to expand the fan base. With packed morning practices in Winnipeg and a sold-out game, it has fans and some Manitoba-born players wondering if the city could soon be home to the league's 9th franchise.
I think it'd be a great spot. There's so much hockey love here in the city.
Geographically, it makes a lot of sense. Like we're right central in North America and in Canada, but I think this city just loves hockey, and the fact that this city doesn't have a pro women's sports team at all, I think hockey would be a great first one.
No word from the league if that's a possibility. As for the game, the Ottawa Charge beat the Montreal Victoire 2-1 in overtime. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed between Barrie and Century Street. Following the rush, the eastbound curb lane on Portage Avenue will be closed from Good Street to Memorial Boulevard, and the eastbound median lane on Corden Avenue will be closed from Osborne to Donald Street. If you see any other issues on your drive, please send us a text.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
All right, a look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. We are about 1 hour away from official sunrise this morning, and you can expect that we might even get to enjoy a bit of that sunshine once it rises. At least through the morning hours, things could change somewhat into the afternoon. However, along with the somewhat clear conditions come the slightly cooler temperatures. Not cold compared to what is normal for this time of year, just slightly below for many of us. For example, -8, that would be a normal low temperature. And while Morton Winkler area, Portage La Prairie are slightly above that, many of us are just a degree or 2 below. Winnipeg coming in at -9, Brandon -10, and then central Manitoba is already moving up into those mid to high minus teens, or further that you go up into the north, low -20s, low -30s, high -30s up into the northwest today. And typically the last few days it's been the northeast that's been colder, but this morning northwestern Manitoba is feeling the chill even more so, and all of that before we're even factoring in the winds, which are pushing those wind chill values in the high to mid -40s across much of northern Manitoba. Here it's still feeling a little bit chilly. A minus 16 wind chill value, or minus 18 is what it's feeling like in Brandon. The breeze nowhere near as strong as it was yesterday, but still having a bit of a bite. There you can see those clear conditions through the eastern half of the province, with the clouds along to the west and closing in here on the south. And we will see those clouds building up throughout the day today. But temperatures still rising decently, getting up to about -1 by the time kids are coming home from school. We'll start to see a few more clouds by then. 0 degrees are expected high today, but +2 is normal for this time of year. So not there today. Flurries overnight that'll continue throughout tomorrow, and a big dip on the other side of that. So cold later on into the week, and then eventually starting to see that sunshine with a bit of a warm up for next week. It is calving season. This little one, just 3 weeks old, taken out in the Narcisse area. Thanks for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back.
Looking for inspiration on your home projects? Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Home and Garden Show runs April 9th to the 12th at the RBC Convention Centre. And we have a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Brian Baumner. There's also 2 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword garden. Good luck. A behind-the-wheel warning after BC Highway Patrol pulled over a woman who appeared to be asleep while in the driver's seat of her self-driving Tesla on Highway 1. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
It was last Tuesday, morning rush hour on Highway 1 through Coquitlam, when a patrol officer witnessed a Tesla driver taking a little nap behind the wheel.
One of our officers saw a driver who didn't appear to be touching the steering wheel. When our officer got up beside the driver, she couldn't get her attention in spite of a lot of effort. And it's our contention that the driver was fully asleep.
This is a screenshot of the driver, who police believe had put her car in self-driving mode.
The driver was adamant that she'd merely zoned out for a moment, but considering the considerable effort it took to get her attention, plus a review of the in-car police video, it wasn't supporting the idea that this person was momentarily zoned out. They appeared completely asleep.
While Teslas and some other newer vehicles now offer what's known as semi-autonomous self-driving,
it is illegal in British Columbia to use self-driving mode on your vehicles. There are some autonomous features that are permissible under the Motor Vehicle Act, like lane departure warning and things like that. But anything that makes the vehicle fully autonomous, so you're not participating in the operation of the vehicle, is illegal.
The 37-year-old woman who was pulled over by Highway Patrol was fined $368 for driving without due care and attention and $138 for speeding.
This isn't something we see every day, but it is something we expect to see more of as vehicles get more sophisticated.
There is an argument that by removing the human element, self-driving is actually safer.
It's funny, people spend a lot of time on social media talking to their friends, talking about the theory, and perhaps they think that because this function is available, it's legal. Well, no. Do some research into the law, and I'm here to help you with that. It is illegal. It is unsafe.
Right now, the blanket ban does make sense, and it makes sense because the technology is so new and evolving so quickly that we don't really understand it, especially when it comes to the level of involvement and participation that is required of the driver.
With videos like these all over the internet, Highway Patrol officers are now on the lookout for drivers who aren't actually driving.
We have that camera. We have our own eyes. We will enforce the law. So be in control at all times.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Here's a look outside now at Portage at Polo Park. It sounds like the streets are a little bit slippery this morning. We got a warning from police, so keep that in mind when you head out this morning. We'll be right back after this short break.
-9, but it feels more like -16. A bit of a breeze adding to the chill of this morning. It's out of the north-northeast, 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 88%. So slightly cooler than seasonal, not by much. We're only a degree below normal, but it's that breeze that makes it feel a little bit I don't want to say nastier, but yeah, a little bit colder, I suppose. And then we've got these clear conditions that will be pleasant once the sun rises. Of course, that's happening just after 7:20 this morning, so we will get to see a little more of that along the eastern side and northern Manitoba. But where it's clear, it's a little bit colder, and right up into northern Manitoba, you're really feeling the chill of it all this morning, like the depths of winter, never mind spring, which we seem to be flirting with here through southern Manitoba. We'll have those days of the plus digits, and then it gets a little bit cold overnight, and we've been back and forth. Well, today we're only likely to get to the freezing mark, so not quite up into the plus digits, and it might get even cooler over the next couple of days. But we should enjoy some sunshine, at least a little bit through the morning hours, and a bit of a breeze out of the northeast at about 20 kilometers per hour. Now, overnight, dropping only to -4, so this is where things will remain a little bit above seasonal, because -8 is a normal low, so we're not going to drop anywhere near that far. We will likely begin to see some precipitation overnight, and that'll continue throughout tomorrow, and tomorrow even cooler yet, so -2 are expected high, and then even colder following that as the system moves on out and the sky begins to clear. We'll get some sunshine back, but Thursday is looking to be a chilly below seasonal day, closer to normal lows than the normal daytime highs, and it's going to take some time to warm up, but it will on the other side of the weekend and into the start of next week. We'll be getting back up into those plus digits, or what is normal for this time of year.
The man accused in the cold case killing of a woman 17 years ago has pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. Kevin Q of Vancouver was charged in 2024 in connection to the 2007 killing of 24-year-old Crystal Saunders. He was initially charged with second-degree murder, but has since pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Sentencing is set for Thursday. Both the Crown and Q's lawyer are recommending a sentence of 12 years. At the time of Q's arrest, Mountie said advancements in DNA technology managed to link him to the crime, but it took several more years for investigators to gather enough evidence to lay charges. RCMP say Q was originally from Winnipeg and had been in contact with Saunders the night before she was found dead. The Downtown Community Safety Partnership is expanding its camera program. Mayor Scott Gillingham confirmed the partnership will gain access to the city and police security cameras, bringing 38 more locations on board. And as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, there are now calls to take the program citywide.
At this Downtown Canadian footwear location, several security cameras survey the store. And these exterior cameras trained on the street help Downtown Community Safety Partnership's Beacon program.
The Beacon is a CCTV network that's made up of cameras mostly from the private sector and private organizations where they partner with DCSP, where we can live monitor their camera feeds for public safety and wellness concerns.
Canadian Footwear joined back in 2023 when the program started. Brian Sharfstein says it's been reassuring.
It certainly gives us the ability to know that on the streets or outside of our store, that there is somebody watching the monitors and being able to see if there are issues or just be able to make sure that everything is safe on our streets.
There are 7 downtown locations with a total of 49 cameras right now. McDonald says city and police cameras will join Beacon, bringing the total to about 45 locations and 100 cameras, something Mayor Scott Gillingham confirmed.
It allows the DCSP and their partner agencies to really monitor what's happening in the downtown. Yes, they look for criminal activity, but primarily they're looking for people who are struggling with social issues.
Back at Canadian Footwear, Sharfstein says the program should expand to the whole city.
It should be part of our business tax being used to have a CCTV Beacon program that is throughout our city, and it'll make it a safer city overall.
A spokesperson for Winnipeg Police says their cameras will be connected to DCSP in the near future, adding they won't have access to other cameras. Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Auditor General says Ottawa's international students cap and program reform falls short when it comes to integrity.
What's concerning for me is that the department isn't acting on the information that it has.
The report found schools flagged more than 153,000 potential red flag students to the government over 2 years, but the Immigration Department only investigated a little more than 4,000 students. The audit also found 800 cases where applicants either used fraudulent information or misrepresented themselves. Most of those people then applied for other immigration permits, and more than half of those students were approved. The immigration minister says it will now work to improve its process, moving to streamline students who are flagged, as well as doing more reporting and information sharing with Canadian Border Services Agency. This morning, there are reports of Iranian missiles targeting Israel, despite U.S. President Donald Trump saying productive talks are taking place to end the war.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
A missile slammed into a street in central Tel Aviv today, but no one was seriously hurt. This comes after President Trump talked about renewed discussions with Tehran, adding the U.S. would be postponing strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days. However, Iran says talks with the U.S. never happened. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will continue to strike Iran and Lebanon, even as the U.S. considers a ceasefire. With the ongoing uncertainty, the price of crude is soaring once again, back to $104 USA a barrel in morning trading. Work on the former downtown Hudson's Bay building is moving forward with the installation of a new design element. The Southern Chiefs organization says the framework for the skylight is now complete. It's inspired by the 1971 film César's Bark Canoe. The wood used in black spruce harvested from Quebec and fabricated right here in Kleefeld, Manitoba. 36 pieces were installed in total. The completion of the wood framework allows the next steps in the skylight installation. Once complete, the $310 million project will include 373 housing units, including some facing the interior atrium.
It was important for us to have that to make those units more comfortable, and I think that works for the design.
SCO Grand Chief Jerry Daniels tells CTV News the glass still needs to be added to the skylight. He also says the atrium is half completed. Plumbing work has started and crews are framing units on the 5th floor. The building is expected to open in 2028. Here's a look at what's happening now along Osborne Street. It looks like these cars are moving quite well to start off this morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, give us a heads up, please. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average continues to rise. It's now at $1.73. The provincial average is $1.68. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.70. And the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, Ainsley is live at MHC Gallery. We're going to find out about this art exhibit called Together. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, feeling a little bit chilly out here this morning, and a lot of it does have to do with the breeze. Our temperature itself is just barely below seasonal, -8 being that normal low, and we're coming in at -9, so a degree off the mark of that. But it feels a lot colder, and it's all due to that wind, 18 kilometers per hour out of the northeast, and that's suddenly making the -9 feel like -16. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 88%. Starting to look a little bit lighter along the east horizon, where that sun will be rising just after 7:20 this morning, and we will get to enjoy some sunshine today. I can see already that the conditions out here are fairly clear. It's a little bit chilly, though, here in the south. Like I said, slightly below seasonal, but where it's many degrees below seasonal is through parts of central Manitoba and then northern Manitoba. That's the shocker of it all, with some frigid temperatures that you're waking up to this morning in the mid to high -30s across northern Manitoba, and that's before you're factoring in the wind. So enjoy the sunshine, but you're going to want to bundle up. Let's head on over to Ainsley McPhail now and see where she is and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Hey, we're beating the cold this morning, Terry, at the Canadian Mennonite University's Heritage Gallery. Sarah Hodge-Klisnik joins us now to tell us all about Together, as well as ways that you can get your hands on some fantastic art. Tell us about Together, Sarah.
Yeah, so Together has a few different names, actually, because we have artists from different cultures and faiths represented. So it's Together, Sartsart, Ma'an, and Ikate. It features 4 different artists, like I said. Ray Dirks is a Christian Mennonite artist who also happened to found the gallery, so has lots of connections here in the local arts community. Manju Lodha is a Jain Hinduism artist, originally from India. We also have Isa Mahmood, who's from Sudan and is a Sufism Islamic artist. And Darshan Singh Tiba is a Sikh artist, also from India. So all of them have different artworks. Their artwork really is a reflection of their faith and their culture, and it's really just a celebration of faith diversity and friendship.
And hearing that, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's an opportunity to learn some more about the artists coming up.
Yes, absolutely. We have an artist talk scheduled for 2 p.m. on Saturday. They'll tell different stories, talk about some other connections and projects together.
Speaking of connections, we're going to pivot here. This is called the Connection Desk. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we've got lots going on at the gallery right now. The Connection Desk is a participatory gesture of remembrance art installation. It's by Jillian Crawford, another local artist, and it really invites people to take part, to sit down at the desk, to pick up the telephone and speak to loved ones that they may not have had an opportunity to say those things to in life. So
that's so beautiful. Quickly, before we're out of time, how can people get this art?
Visit our website, cmu.ca/gallery. It'll give you all the details about all the different exhibitions and events coming up, and we'll tell you more about the community gallery after the break.
Thank you so much. Throw into the break with this art. Come on in. There's a QR code too.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones is 79 points lower and the Nasdaq lost 7 points. The S&P index is 6 points down. But the Canadian dollar had small losses, set to 72.78 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 681 points higher, and the Nikkei gained 736 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. A new study suggests Winnipeggers are almost evenly split on the idea of lowering the city's default speed limit, but more people are opposed and feel more strongly about the issue than those in favor. A new Probe research poll asked people if they were for or against lowering the speed limit on local and collector streets from 50 to 40 kilometers an hour. 53% of respondents were opposed, while 47% are in favor. However, nearly 4 in 10 are strongly opposed, compared to a little more than 1 in 5 who say they strongly support the idea. North Kildonan Councillor Jeff Rawati says the results suggest a vocal minority is attempting to have the speed limits lowered in spite of what the rest of the city wants.
The majority of collisions on our streets that involve any type of injuries are not on these local residential streets or even the collector streets in residential neighborhoods. By lowering the speed limit, we're creating something artificial. The roads were designed and engineered in many cases for 50, but at the same time, also recognizing that anytime there's any type of safety issue, you have to slow the heck down. When there's snow on the streets, when there's parked cars, when there's bends in the roads, you already can't be going 50 kilometers an hour.
Now, the city was more likely to express opposition aside from the core area, where 2/3 support lowering the speed limit. 600 Winnipeg adults were surveyed between March 1st and 17th for the survey, which has a margin of error of plus or minus 4 percentage points. On Thursday, City Council will vote on whether to lobby the province to amend the Highway Traffic Act and permit Winnipeg to lower its default speed limit. It's the first step before any official discussion can happen about potentially lowering the speed limit. Canada's Supreme Court will continue hearings today on a challenge of Quebec's religious symbols ban.
It's not the purpose of this law, clearly, to put in place a separation of church and state.
So the legislator said it himself. This is about imposing a vision of values on Quebec society.
On the first day of hearings, lawyers for those challenging the law argued it goes too far and is unconstitutional. Quebec's secularism law bans people in authority, like teachers and police officers, from wearing religious symbols on the job. Quebec's government used the notwithstanding clause preemptively to sidestep any charter challenges. How the court rules could affect how governments can use this clause. Hearings are expected to last for 4 days. A ruling will likely take several months. The Auditor General's report also says the government is running out of time to clear the Phoenix pay system backlog. Problems with the old system affected at least 133,000 government workers. The report says the federal government hasn't made much of a dent in clearing the backlog of wrong pay transactions. It warns if the backlog isn't cleared, the new system will be infected with similar errors. Airport delays in the U.S. are getting worse as the lack of funding for Homeland Security continues. But there could be soon some movement, with senators considering a new funding deal. Senators are discussing a proposal to fund much of the department. The proposal does not include ICE enforcement. This potential breakthrough comes after a group of Republican senators headed to the White House late last night to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump. TSA workers have been without pay since the middle of February due to a partial government shutdown. ICE agents are now working at major airports across the U.S., helping to fill the void as thousands of security staff refuse to work because they're not getting paid. A new piece of classical music is carrying a message about the wood used to make the clarinet.
Wood that the clarinet is made of is ebony, which is a very rare wood that only grows in 2 countries in Africa.
The work is written by a Syrian clarinetist, a French conductor, and they're hoping their work will highlight the effects of climate change on music, as ebony is an endangered wood. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed between Barrie and Century Street. Following the rush, the eastbound curb lane on Portage Avenue will be closed from Good Street to Memorial Boulevard. And the eastbound median lane on Corden Avenue will be closed from Osborne to Donald Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
All right, looking outside now, it's -9, but it feels like -16 when you're factoring in that 18K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 88%. So throw those extra layers on. You'll be glad to have them today. A little bit of an extra chill all due to that breeze, but the wind nowhere near as strong as yesterday. So we do at least have that in our favor. Fairly clear conditions through much of east central Manitoba and much of the north, but it comes too with some very cold temperatures. Right up into parts of northern Manitoba, you're waking up in the mid to high -30s. Now, you will make some gains today, ending up in the low -20s for Churchill. In fact, today the northeast isn't quite as cold as the morning in the northwest, so Churchill is actually a few degrees warmer than Lynn Lake, for example. Mid -teens through the rest of the area. Yes, fairly clear, mix of sun and cloud or sunnier conditions. Right up into the north, Lynn Lake will be making some gains today, so you'll end up surpassing, even though you're starting colder than Churchill right now in those high -30s, you will be surpassing Churchill's -21, getting more so into the mid -teens, which is where the rest of northern Manitoba will be considerably cooler. You remember yesterday, the Paw, for example, was getting to highs just below the freezing mark, and now considerably colder than that. So feeling the chill of it all today, with some snow that'll be moving in through much of northern Manitoba. Parts of central Manitoba might be seeing that, but further into the south, we're more likely to just see the clouds building up with a round of precipitation for us coming in the overnight hours. So while today we'll actually enjoy, or at least this morning, a little bit of sunshine, heavier clouds building through the afternoon, and then the flurries for overnight. We're only likely to get to the freezing mark today. Plus digits are normal for this time of year, around 2 degrees, and areas just to the south of us might do just a little bit better than that. And areas to the east of us, like Fort Frances, could do just a little bit better, up to 5 degrees. Fairly mild overall. It'll only get cooler though for us, with the snow moving in overnight tomorrow just below the freezing mark, and then even cooler yet when the sunshine starts to return. It'll take some time to warm up again.
Thank you, Terry. Manitoba's Matt Dunstone is heading to the Men's World Curling Championship for the first time this week. Canada plays Korea on Friday. CTV's Glenn Campbell has more.
Make it go away. And there they go. And he is the heartbreak kid no more, Matt Dunstone.
Matt Dunstone's rink was one of the best stories at this year's Brier. Dunstone had never won a Canadian championship. It was emotional. But now he says they've moved on and can hardly wait to wear the maple leaf and represent Canada at the Worlds.
There was a lot of storylines for each of us individually on why representing Canada again would mean a lot to us. And so that's what's going to make this World Championship really special. Not going to take it for granted, obviously. And you know, Canadian curling's been on a nice little stretch here, and you know, I'm excited to be a part of that and hopefully continue that run that we've been on.
Like the women's World, some of the big name teams won't be there, but the field is still good. And third Colton Lott says no matter who they face, Canada will be ready.
I think for us, it doesn't matter who we play. We're going to go out there, stick to our game plan, stick within the team, and perform at the best that we can.
The Harndens, also known as the Broom Brothers, round out Team Dunstone. For EJ, this will be his last Worlds. He's retiring from competitive curling after this year.
This just feels like it's a bonus. Like there's just, I don't know, a very light, like sort of lightness that I feel and excitement that I feel. And I haven't felt this way in a number of years. And I'm really, really looking forward to literally just getting on the plane and starting this process and this journey with the guys.
And it'll also be special for Ryan, being there with his brother when it's all said and done.
Just very excited. I just love to, obviously EJ being his last, event. It's just going to be special to end it together.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
A Victoria, BC woman's daily walk on the beach resulted in her forming a friendship with an 8-legged creature. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story.
Catherine Dobrovolsky began her daily walks by the water. She never expected to form a friendship.
I just wanted to get some exercise in, enjoy the fresh air.
But Catherine soon realized she wasn't alone in being active by the ocean.
Every day there was something new here. It became addictive.
While the creatures Catherine encountered and caught on camera were countless, there was just one that really captured her imagination.
Just watching it camouflage and the way it moved, I was hooked.
Catherine kept her eye out for other little octopi until one day she noticed a big blob.
I just said, oh my God, I got to get a better, closer look.
Catherine was surprised to find the biggest octopus she'd ever seen, who rushed to get a better, closer look at her too.
I'm scared. The grip was so tight, it felt like I was getting my blood pressure taken in my legs, and I was petrified. I was freaking out.
Catherine attempted to calm herself down by taking big breaths.
I just all of a sudden started to relax, and then he did.
The octopus loosened its grip, left her leg, and transformed into a shape that felt like the start of a wordless conversation.
There was a connection. He felt me and I felt him. Oh, you're beautiful.
And they spent the next hour together.
Look at you. It was the best day of my life.
Before continuing their conversation over the past few weeks.
Oh my God, are you ever soft? He's sort of like an underwater puppy dog now. Love you.
Now, Catherine says the octopus she calls baby seems to recognize her, regularly swimming up to her leg to give a hug and receive an appreciative pat.
Oh, look at you. You're so pretty. Now we're buds.
And their friendship, Catherine says, is powerful and a privilege.
I was giving him love, and he gave me love back.
A love that Catherine hopes will inspire others to connect with the natural world, with curiosity, appreciation, and respect.
Good baby.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
I love that story so much. All right, here's a look outside now on Notre Dame Avenue. Look at that sky. It's starting to glow up. We'll be right back after this short break. It's Tuesday, March 24th. Today, budget day ahead. How the province is set to unveil a plan focused on healthcare and affordability. Plus, drain flood headache. How icy backups are leaving streets underwater and residents doing the work. And women's hockey hype. A packed arena fuels buzz as pro women's game draws a big Winnipeg crowd. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba at 7 o'clock on your Tuesday. It's also budget day in Manitoba, and we're going to have the Premier join us at 8:15 to maybe give us some tips or hints on what's going to be in today's budget and what it'll mean to your pocketbook. At 7:52, we're also going to hear from Clinic. They have a program called Hummingbird, which is sort of a support program for sexual assault survivors. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the program itself, how you can support it, and what it does. And let's talk about the weather. It's cool today, but it's going to be clear, maybe.
So yeah, clear this morning, and that's going to be good news for those of us that like to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, but you've got to throw those extra layers on if you want to actually enjoy that sunshine. And even then, know that it could be disappearing into the afternoon. So once again, the morning hours will be a best for your sun gazing. And it's not even quite up yet, but it will be in about 20 minutes time. It's -9 right now. Feels like -16 though, and that's because of the wind, 18 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 88%. Fairly clear conditions through much of eastern Manitoba, as you can see. Winnipeg's right on the edge. We're seeing just a few clouds, but we'll likely see more clouds building up throughout the day today. A few more of those clouds lingering along the western border and right down into the southwest. But where it's even clearer yet is where it's colder yet. And northern Manitoba especially is waking up to actual temperatures in the mid to high -30s. Yeah, northwestern Manitoba is actually colder than the northeast, and the northeast has been really taking the hits for the last few days. But now northwestern Manitoba is really feeling the chill of it all, and those wind chill values pushing you close to the -40s. It will be warming up somewhat today. Some improvements will be made as the sun warms you up, and it's going to stick around through much of northern Manitoba. Here in the south, though, we'll see those heavier clouds moving in. It's central Manitoba where the snow is likely to be falling, and then in fact that snow will be moving in for us into the overnight hours. Not just overnight, but actually throughout the day tomorrow. Off and on we'll be seeing this flurry activity. We could get a couple of centimeters of accumulation through the course of the day tomorrow, and then the temperatures dropping off on the other side of that. Even though the sky will be clearing out, temperatures will be getting even cooler for a couple of days. So next couple will be just barely below the below what is normal for this time of year, +2 being seasonal, but dipping much farther from that after that system of snow passes. We'll get sunshine back, but it will get cold before we're seeing those more seasonal temperatures into the start of next week. 6-year-old Ellis was responsible for our art today, so thank you for sharing your coloring with us, Ellis. We really appreciate that. And you can submit your kids' art by going to our website now, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form there. Not only will your art be shown here on the TV, but you'll also be entered for that $100 gift card from Crock-A-Doodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crock-A-Doodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
The Manitoba government is set to deliver its annual budget today with a focus on affordability and healthcare. The budget comes down as Manitobans are coping with rising fuel prices and recent spikes in food inflation. The NDP government has already promised to try to keep grocery prices down and has said it might introduce more limits on the price of milk. The budget is also expected to contain promises of more money for healthcare as wait times remain long. Cabinet ministers in recent weeks have signaled money for nursing training and cardiac care, as well as funding for police and corrections officers. CTV News Winnipeg will have full coverage of Manitoba's Budget Day 2026 on CTV News at 5 and at 6 and on our website ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Frozen drains, flooded streets, and frustrated homeowners. The spring thaw is leaving a number of homeowners with no choice but to take matters into their own hands and wade through icy water to clear blocked drains and catch basins. And video of flooded streets flooded social media over the weekend. As CTV's Daniel Homerson shows you, one video garnered a lot of attention, especially after it called out the area's councillor complaining about the city's slow response.
There's a lot more waterfront property around the city these days. The spring freeze-thaw cycle is plugging road drains and causing headaches for many homeowners.
I knew that I'll have to take matters in my hand. I took a shovel, whatever I had. I went inside the water and I started breaking the ice.
That's Gurishish Singh in the blue t-shirt, hacking away at ice under nearly knee-deep water over the weekend. He and a neighbor spent almost 2 hours trying to clear the drain on their street in Bridgewater.
By the time we were done, our feet were numb. I couldn't feel my feet for the next 20, 25, 30 minutes.
Singh says he contacted 311 to report the issue a couple days earlier, but later learned his request wouldn't be fulfilled until March 30th, 11 days after the fact. And he says calls to City Councillor Janice Lukes went unanswered until he called her out on social media, and it worked. Almost 24 hours later, she showed up at his door, but Singh says Lukes wasn't necessarily there to apologize.
The conversation was that why did I write that I called her 15 times, and I tried to portray her image as someone who's inaccessible. I feel that if I'm paying property taxes, I need to be given those services which I'm promised.
In response, Lukes says Singh did all the right things, but flooded streets are an issue every spring, and the city's ability to tackle them comes down to supply and demand. She says there's more than 60,000 drains and only 19 steamers, and city crews prioritize clearing based on potential for property damage. So Lukes is asking residents to help out if they're able to.
If you've got a problem, if the drain looks like it's plugged, if you're able to,
pour some hot water on it, go out with a little pick and pick away at it.
And some Winnipeggers did just that this weekend. Tyler Crichton and a crew of friends hit the streets of St. James and had a little fun while they were at it.
The feeling you get when you actually get the water moving, right? And then you see it swirling and making the noises. That's the best part. Like, it's so good. Their drain clearing video has since gone viral, and Crichton's encouraging others to get out and help. I think it's good to come together as a community and take care of your community as neighbors, right?
Daniel Almerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you can't clear the drains, Luke says to report the issue through 311, sharing as much information as you can, including photos to help city crews assess the situation. A city spokesperson says 10 crews are currently tackling drain problems across the city. We now know the names of the 2 pilots who died in the plane crash at LaGuardia Airport.
We're 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy, that we're sitting here, with their loss.
CTV News can confirm Antoine Forêt was the flight's captain. He was from Coteau-du-Lac in Quebec. His co-pilot was Mackenzie Gunther. He joined Air Canada Jazz after graduating from Seneca College's aviation program in 2023. This passenger says the pilot's response likely saved their lives.
Right before the impact, we felt with something, maybe like an emergency brake that was pulled or some kind of hard stop before we hit the truck, hit the fire truck in front of us.
Solange Tremblay was one of 2 flight attendants on the plane. She was thrown from the plane by the crash and landed about 100 meters away. She was found alive, still strapped into her jump seat. Her family says she had surgery a few hours after the crash. 41 people from the plane, along with the 2 people in the fire truck, were taken to hospital. Officials say 32 people have been released. Wildlife officials in Uganda have reintroduced 4 southern white rhinos into a protected area where they were once poached into extinction.
It's a great day for Uganda.
Conservationists see this as a milestone for rhinos living in the wild. A nearby private conservation area has been breeding rhinos for years, and now they're moving to this protected area. Here's a look at what's happening outside now at Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. Looks like things are moving well, and the sky is starting to light up. If you see any issues out on the street, please send us a text.
Traders bet hundreds of millions of dollars on oil contracts just minutes before U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Monday that the U.S. would postpone strikes against any Iranian energy infrastructure. Market data reviewed by the BBC shows the volume of trade spiked around 15 minutes before a social media post by the president announcing the move. The price of oil fell sharply after the announcement, dropping 14% in a matter of minutes. Traders who bet on the unexpected move would have made money. Now, some market analysts say the unusual activity opens up the possibility that the bets may have been placed with prior knowledge of the decision. Agricultural land prices in Canada continue to climb. They jumped last year, but some regions saw more of an increase than others, says a new report by Farm Credit Canada. Canadian farmland values rose an average of 9.3% in 2025, extending a more than 3-decade upward trend, said the Federal Crown Corporation. The prairie provinces saw the biggest bumps last year, 12.2% in Manitoba, 11.4% in Alberta, 9.4% in Saskatchewan. Ontario values only grew by 2.2% as high-quality land was in limited supply. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at MHC Gallery this morning. It's an art exhibit if you want to check it out for yourself. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We just had a look at Together, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, but we're inside of the community gallery talking about Fill the Frames, which is an opportunity for people to give back to the Canadian Mennonite University's gallery here. You come in, you scan the QR code, and auction off these beautiful pieces. Right now, we're looking at something from Yvonne Carlson, Fairfell or Flight. We're having a look here at Anne Rowson's. So it's giving back in a sense that you'll pay and then it goes back into the gallery. Come by. We're chatting with somebody for Together coming up at 7:27. It's focusing on different religions. Back to you, Rochelle.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's not the start we wanted for the day, but it will brighten up outside.
It's just that Mother Nature is such a tease this time of year, and the days that aren't in our favor, and I think by that a lot of us would be in agreement that we like those warmer days with the promise that spring is just around the corner, as opposed to the days where it feels like we've taken 3 steps back. And today might be maybe a 2 steps back day, and tomorrow might be a 3 steps back kind of day, because things could be looking more like winter as opposed to just feeling a little bit cold, as is the case this morning. -10, that temperature has dropped off another degree now, and it feels more like -18 with that 17K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 87%. Now today is still clear. We'll enjoy some of that sunshine, and much of eastern Manitoba will be seeing the sunnier conditions. It's just that clear often equals cold, and many places are going to be noticing that this morning with mid-30s as the temperatures that you're waking up to across northern Manitoba, and feeling close to -40, only rising into the mid to high -20s through the north. We'll do a little bit better here in the south, getting to a high of about 0 degrees, but that's still shy of seasonal. This time of year here in the south, we should be above the freezing mark. Not by much, but 2 degrees would be normal. We'll only get farther from that tomorrow with some snow moving in overnight.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for our question of the day. Spring is here, and it comes with spring cleaning season. So we want to know, in your opinion, what's the worst part of spring cleaning? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're taking a break here. We'll be right back after this.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
The surging cost of fuel, coupled with other economic headwinds, may start pushing commuters towards car sharing services. The head of Peg City Car Co-op, Philip Mikulik, says he hasn't noticed an uptick in membership yet, but suspects it may be on the horizon. He says the decision to sign up is usually more nuanced than simply the price of fuel at a given time. But considering the financial strain many people are already under, the skyrocketing price of gas may boost membership.
And definitely supply chain issues, those increasing in costs due to inflation, post-pandemic, were things that really got people excited about car sharing. I think it's also people just realizing that if there's ways that they can reduce their carbon footprint, things like that, has led to more people choosing car sharing over car ownership.
That said, Mikulik says the company has seen some of its fastest growth in the past 5 years and has had to double the size of its fleet. This all comes as the average price of regular gasoline, according to GasBuddy.com, hit 171.1 on Monday, up 10 cents from last week and 48.5 cents from a month ago. The price monitoring service shows the highest price in the country right now is in Vancouver, where it's $2.12.5 per liter. Canada Life Centre saw a sold-out hockey crowd Sunday, but the fans weren't cheering on the Winnipeg Jets. More than 15,000 fans packed the arena as the Professional Women's Hockey League played its first ever game here in Winnipeg. The Takeover Tour brings the league to neutral cities to expand the fan base. With packed morning practices in Winnipeg and a sold-out game, it has fans and some Manitoba-born players wondering if the city could soon be home to the league's 9th franchise.
I think it'd be a great spot. There's so much hockey love here in the city.
Geographically, it makes a lot of sense. Like we're right central in North America and in Canada, but I think this city just loves hockey, and the fact that this city doesn't have a pro women's sports team at all, I think hockey would be a great first one.
No word from the league if that's a possibility. As for the game, the Ottawa Charge beat the Montreal Victoire 2-1 in overtime. Here's what's happening at Confusion Corner. It's picking up over in this part of the city. As you can see, the streets are slippery in some parts as well, so be mindful of that when you head out this morning.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Grab your cowboy hat and boots if you can. An award-winning country music artist will be bringing some Texas flair to Winnipeg later this year.
If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance.
Cody Johnson is set to perform at Canada Life Centre on September 19th, called the Cody Johnson Live 26 Tour. The show will feature some of his top hits, including Till You Can't, The Painter, and Dirt Cheap. Johnson has been in big demand. Last year alone, he sold 400,000 concert tickets and won Male Vocalist of the Year at the CMA Awards. Tickets go on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster. Celine Dion is making a comeback to the big stage, announcing a series of shows in Paris on social media. The 57-year-old posted photos of herself in Paris on Instagram. There are also posters across the French capital featuring some of her iconic songs. Dion is planning 2 concerts each week in September and October. They would be her first full shows in over 5 years after she was diagnosed with stiff person syndrome. And we're getting our first look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the upcoming live-action remake of a Disney hit.
And save us all.
Maui, demigod of the wind and sea.
Hero of men.
Huh?
The full trailer was just released for the live-action Moana movie, set to hit theaters this summer. In it, we see The Rock, who's reprising his role as demigod Maui, shape-shifting into various animals and setting out on a world-saving adventure. It stars Catherine Legaia as Moana. Moana is set to hit theaters July the 10th. Your Tuesday primetime lineup comes with the best investigators. Will Trent starts at 7. Follow Morgan Guillory in High Potential at 8. Catch RJ Decker at 9. And Best Medicine wraps up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime Lineup is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
I love watching The Rock, but that rooster from Moana is probably my favorite character in the story.
I haven't seen the live action.
I haven't seen the live action either, but the rooster is hilarious in the cartoon.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's the
hilarious. Looking forward to seeing that. And I was intrigued, but were they saying that that was the second one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, apparently I've missed one along the way. I'm not surprised. I'm not really up on my movie watching. Anyway, to the weather, shall we? Here's a look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. But that trailer does make me want to watch the first one and then the second one. So maybe I'll be looking for a wintry-like day to do some movie watching. Well, you don't have to wait long if that's what you're waiting for as well, because by tonight and tomorrow, things could be looking like winter all over again. I know it's not what we want to hear, but it is pretty typical of spring in Manitoba. So here we are waking up to temperatures slightly below seasonal, and that's coming off of a stretch of days where we've been enjoying the above seasonal temperatures, although enjoying maybe not so much because those winds have been intense. Well, today the winds will be a little bit lighter, so we at least have that in our favor. -10 right now in Winnipeg, -11 in Brandon. The only places that are above seasonal, well, -8 is normal for this time of year. So we've got Portage coming in bang on -8, and then a little bit milder Morden-Winkler area or over to the east of us in Kenora, but mid to high -teens through central Manitoba, then into the -20s or mid to high -30s. Look at Thompson, -38. That's your actual temperature. And then we do still have those wind chill values pushing into the -40s. People throughout northern Manitoba are most definitely feeling the chill. It's clear, but it's cold, and we'll see these clouds probably building up throughout the day today. We're not likely to see that precipitation today, just the clouds building up, with the mercury climbing to about -1 by the time kids are coming home from school. 0 degrees are expected high, which will be reached around supper time or so. But it's overnight and through tomorrow that the snow will be moving in, and then following that, even colder temperatures, though that sunshine will be returning. But it's calving season. This little one just 3 weeks old. Thanks to Cynthia for sharing the photos, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
March 24th, 1945. Canadian troops began the liberation of the Netherlands during the Second World War. Corporal Fred Topham won the Victoria Cross for bravery as Canadian paratroopers and air support joined in the Allies' crossing of the Rhine River. Canada also helped end the Dutch famine, which had been caused by German blockades. March 24th, 1989. The second worst offshore oil spill in U.S. history occurred as the supertanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Alaska's Prince William Sound and began leaking 41 million liters of crude. The vessel's captain, Joseph Hazelwood, was cleared in 1990 of the most serious charges arising from the disaster, but was convicted of a misdemeanor. March 24th, 2020. The 2020 Summer Olympics were officially postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach agreed to the delay of about 1 year. The Tokyo Games were eventually held beginning on July 23rd, 2021. Newly released photos are shedding light on a lesser-known part of astronaut Neil Armstrong's career. They're from the Gemini 8 mission in 1966. It was a space flight that nearly ended in disaster, but helped pave the way for the Apollo moon landings. It was launched to test bringing two spacecraft together in orbit and docking them in a single unit, something that had never been done before. Within minutes of docking in March 1966, the mission turned into an emergency as both spacecraft started tumbling uncontrollably and soon ended the mission early, splashing down about 10 hours later. Things are getting steamy in Ottawa with its very first romance bookstore opening up.
Super exciting. I mean, I love books, and to have like a local bookstore like this is amazing.
There's so many different levels. It's not always just straight up like spicy romance books. There's fantasy, world building, mystery.
Eager readers lined up over the weekend to head inside Evermore Books. This is a bookstore entirely dedicated to romance novels. The store has more than 1,000 unique titles inside. Owner Amanda Holmes says she jokingly told her husband last year that she was going to quit her job and open a romance bookstore, and then just decided to take the plunge. Get ready to join some of your favorite pups. Paw Patrol Live, a mighty adventure, is coming to the Centennial Concert Hall on April 4th for one show only. And Your Morning Winnipeg is giving away a pass before this week. The live stage performance follows favorite characters in the animated preschool series Paw Patrol. The rescue dogs must face off against a supervillain scientist who places the city's biggest party in danger. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword adventure. Good luck. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at MHC Gallery this morning. Their exhibit is called Together. Hello, Ainsley.
Hi, and what brings people together more than different faiths, different backgrounds, and different pieces of art? Manju Loda joins us now. She's one of the artists who's been doing this for decades. Tell us a little bit about this exhibition.
Well, namaste, good morning, salam, and sat sri akal. We are 4 artists of 4 different faiths, and we come from 4 different cultures. We look different, yet we share a common vision of being, thinking of a peaceful world, friendship, love, and working together.
And why did you want to do this?
Because we feel like it and we believe in it. So much is going on these days in the world that it's time that we also spread the message of love and peace.
That's beautiful. And you yourself, you're self-taught. Tell us about some of your art and the connection to this particular gallery.
Well, I came to this gallery in 2005, first time, and I had lots of art pieces, but it was very difficult for me to find a place where I could show my work. And the CMU used to bring a class to the Hindu temple, to learn about Hinduism. So I asked the professor if I could show my work in the gallery, and I had tried before that to show my work at other places, but it was never accepted anywhere. And this gallery opened the doors for me, and I had a solo show. And it was all about what I wanted to talk about myself. My artwork is, it's wherever I went, people thought I came just off the boat, or I wore a bindi, and people didn't understand me, my culture, and through my art, I sort of introduced myself.
Wow, and you're introducing yourself today. We'll see her again coming up at 7:42.
Full pieces. Thank you, Ainsley.
I love that. I love that she found the gallery that was willing to showcase her work like that. It deserves to be seen.
Such a beautiful use of color, too.
Speaking of a lovely use of color, look what Mother Nature's done for us this morning. A lovely look out along the east horizon where the sun has been up for a few minutes' time. -10 is where we're sitting right now. Feels more like -18, though, and that's with a north-northeast wind 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 87%. We will see the clouds building throughout the day today, so the best chance of enjoying the sunshine will be in the morning hours. Other places where the sun might shine throughout the day today, it's going to be incredibly cold. So, well, not incredibly cold, but for this time of year, very chilly. So make sure that you're properly bundled up through central and northern Manitoba, well below seasonal temperatures expected. We're going to be a little bit below seasonal today. For example, 0 degrees is where we're headed in Winnipeg, and +2 is a normal daytime high. So missing the mark by a couple degrees today, but we will enjoy at least a little bit of sunshine, as I said, before the clouds continuously build up. And the winds, while we're noticing that bit of a bite that the winds have, they're nowhere near as strong as they've been, topping out at about 20 kilometers per hour today out of the northeast. And that's where they'll hold steady pretty much throughout the overnight hours. And we're not going to drop off much tonight from where we'll be today, only down to about -4. But those clouds that'll be building throughout the daytime will bring some flurries overnight. And then those flurries will change to perhaps straight up snow throughout tomorrow. Things will be looking a little more like winter and feeling a little bit colder yet. Well, today we'll get to the freezing mark, even less so for tomorrow, -2. And then as that system clears out and we're getting back to the sunshine, it gets even colder yet. So -8 for Thursday. That'll be the worst of it as far as the temperatures go. That warm up will take us into the start of next week. We're back to seasonal.
The Downtown Community Safety Partnership is expanding its camera program. The partnership will gain access to the city and police security cameras, bringing 38 more locations on board.
The Beacon is a CCTV network that's made up of cameras mostly from the private sector and private organizations where they partner with DCSP, where we can live monitor their camera feeds for public safety and wellness concerns.
At this downtown Canadian footwear location, several security cameras survey the store, and these exterior cameras trained on the street help Downtown Community Safety Partnership's Beacon program. There are 7 downtown locations with a total of 49 cameras right now. Canadian Footwear joined back in 2023 when the program started. Brian Sharfstein says it's been reassuring.
It certainly gives us the ability to know that on the streets or outside of our store, that there is somebody watching the monitors and being able to see if there are issues or just be able to make sure that everything is safe on our streets.
Joe McDonald of the DCSP says more city and police cameras will join Beacon, bringing the total to about 45 locations and 100 cameras. A spokesperson for Winnipeg Police says their cameras will be connected to DCSP in the near future, adding they won't have access to other non-police cameras. A new report says agricultural land prices in Canada continued to climb last year, but the prairie provinces saw the highest increases. Farm Credit Canada says in its report that Canadian farmland values rose an average of 9.3% last year. Manitoba saw the highest increase at just over 12%, with Alberta and Saskatchewan also seeing big bumps. The Crown Corporation says the Canadian farmland market remained resilient despite trade uncertainty and cost pressures. This morning, there are reports of Iranian missiles targeting Israel, despite U.S. President Donald Trump saying productive talks are taking place to end the war.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
A missile slammed into a street in central Tel Aviv today, but no one was seriously hurt. This comes after President Trump talked about renewed discussions with Tehran, adding the U.S. would be postponing strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days. However, Iran says talks with the U.S. never happened. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will continue to strike Iran and Lebanon, even as the U.S. considers a ceasefire. With the ongoing uncertainty, the price of Brent crude is soaring once again, back to $104 U.S. a barrel in morning trading. The Auditor General says Ottawa's international student caps and program reform falls short when it comes to integrity.
what's concerning for me is that the department isn't acting on the information that it has.
The report found schools flagged more than 153,000 potential red flag students to the government over 2 years, but the Immigration Department only investigated a little more than 4,000 students. The audit also found 800 cases where applicants either used fraudulent information or misrepresented themselves. Most of those people then applied for other immigration permits, and more than half of those students were approved. The immigration minister says it will now work to improve its process, moving to streamline students who are flagged, as well as doing more reporting and information sharing with Canadian Border Services Agency. A new study underscores what doctors have been saying for years about indoor tanning and skin health. According to a new Science Advances study, people who used tanning beds are more likely to develop melanoma, the most serious type of skin cancer, and the spots were more likely to show up on parts of the body that don't usually get much sun, like the torso or thighs. This study also helps explain why tanning beds may be especially risky. They expose large areas of skin to very strong ultraviolet light all at once, which can cause more intense damage than spending time outdoors. The findings also help explain why artificial tanning may be more dangerous for the skin than time spent in the sun. According to Health Canada, there is no safe way to tan. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed between Barrie and Century Street. Following the rush, the eastbound curb lane on Portage Avenue will be closed from Good Street to Memorial Boulevard, and the eastbound median lane on Cordon Avenue will be closed from Osborne to Donald Street. Send us a text if you see anything out there. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.73. The provincial average is $1.68. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.70, and the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
There's a look outside, -10, so it does feel a little bit cool. You'll want that extra layer on, but the sun is shining. It's just behind our graphics there. Out of the north-northeast, the wind is 17 kilometers per hour, and that's making -10 feel like -18. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 87%. You can see there's just a few clouds out there. They are making for some pretty colors this morning, but we'll see a few more of those clouds building up throughout the day today. The sunshine disappearing into the afternoon. It'll probably stay quite clear through parts of northern Manitoba. It's also going to stay very cold throughout much of northern Manitoba. Highs of -21 in around the Churchill area. You're waking up to actual temperatures in the mid to high -30s all through northern Manitoba. Some places will do a little bit better. In fact, I think Thompson had one of the worst temperatures this morning at -38. You're headed to a high of about -14. So some impressive gains will be made today. It's just that you're very much below seasonal to start out. And even with those gains, it's still going to be a pretty chilly day compared to what you would expect for this time of year. Then there's going to be parts of northern Manitoba who see not just clouds, but some flurry activity. Much of central and northern Manitoba will see a system of snow through the day today, and then overnight that system could be settling into the south. But through the course of the day, southern Manitoba is just likely to see the clouds building up. So even though we're still enjoying a bit of sunshine right now, as the day goes on, those clouds will continue to increase, and then bringing the flurries overnight that'll last throughout the day tomorrow. And tomorrow, not only is it going to look a little more like winter with some snow on the way, but it's going to feel a little bit cooler yet, but not as cold as Thursday. After that system clears, the sun will shine again, but the temperature drops off even more so. It's going to take some time, but we'll eventually get back up to those more seasonal temperatures by the end of the weekend and into next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're live at MHC Gallery this morning. We just met one of the artists, and we're going to continue that conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. We're standing in the community gallery right now where there's variety of artists showcased, and you at home could get your hands on some of these wonderful pieces. Sarah's joining me. She's a curator. We're here. Mixed mediums, like totally different. Doesn't matter where you look.
Yeah, so this is the Fill the Frames exhibition. It's the first time we've ever done a fundraising art auction, and we're so excited. And we were so blessed, as you can see, to have so many artists support. So artists donated their work. We have a whole wide range of mediums, from printmaking to photography to contemporary art to landscape. And here we're looking at some different works by past artists and upcoming artists who exhibit with the gallery. Miriam Rudolph, printmaker. Connie Bart Hamill has created this wonderful icon. And Grace Nickel is upcoming. She'll have a show in a couple years at the gallery working on different Anabaptist historical inspired pottery pieces, ceramic pieces. So yeah, this is the Fill the Frames exhibition, and the auction is hosted online. So anyone can go check it out online. Check out our website, cmu.ca/gallery, for links to the auction. And then on May 1st, the auction will close at 9 p.m. but we have a big celebration to close it. So starting at 7 p.m. on May 1st, you can buy a ticket to help support the gallery. It's just $10, and bring everyone out to check out some great art and have a party celebrating this wonderful space with us.
And it really is a win-win, because you're giving back to the gallery, you're giving back to the community that showcases art from all over Manitoba, and not just Mennonite art.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you see, there's a wide variety of artists from all different backgrounds in the show, as we've been talking about all day. And yeah, all purchases for the Fill the Frames art auction and exhibition go back to supporting continued programming at the gallery.
Before we're out of time, I know you briefly touched on it, but how can people get their hands on this art?
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way, cmu.ca/gallery, and the links will take you to the auction website. Of course, if you want to come down and check out the art in person, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, and Saturday, 12 to 5, till May 1st.
Thanks so much. No one else bid on the carved Jesus with the multicolor, because that's the one that I want, and I want it to be the lowest price possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ainsley. A new survey called the Couch Potato Report finds Canadians are paying more for streaming services as subscription prices continue to increase. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with how people are making compromises to combat higher prices.
Streaming price hikes have become so common they've earned a nickname, streamflation. Rising fees can add up quickly, especially if you have multiple services.
I have about 5. It has gone up, and we try to keep a budget.
If you don't keep track, you may not know how much you're spending each month.
I have to look at my bill, so don't know yet.
According to the Couch Potato Report, there are 55 streaming services in Canada, and last year revenue increased 15% to $4.8 billion. This year, the revenue forecast is 11.5% growth, with expected revenue of $5.35 billion. Consumer Reports' Jim Wilcox was shocked when he checked his statements and found he was paying about $1,000 a year for TV services.
The cost has really creeped up on a lot of people, and it's probably one reason that a lot of people don't understand how much they're really paying.
The top 10 providers hiked prices last year by an average of 7%. It's why more Canadians are now streaming services with ads, as it costs 42% less. If you're willing to watch commercials, consider switching to a lower-priced ad-supported tier available on many streaming services. To save money, you can also check your subscriptions, your apps and credit card bills, and cancel services you aren't using. There are also free streaming options such as Pluto and Tubi. Crave, which is owned by Bell Media, the parent company of CTV, saw a 26% increase over last year, due in part to programs like Heated Rivalry. If there are shows you can't afford to miss, Wilcox says you can also consider a strategy called service hopping.
You sign up for a service, you binge everything you can for a month or so, and then cancel that service and then jump to another one.
You may want to put a reminder on your phone to cancel the service so you're not paying after your binge is over. For many households, streaming is the new normal, and those that pay for streaming services have an average of almost 3 subscriptions each. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 16th birthday, Carter. Love from all your family. Happy 4th birthday, Avery May. Love Dad and Coco and the rest of the family. Happy 14th birthday, Tanner, from family and friends. Happy 13th birthday, Andre. Love from Mima, Papa, and all your family. Happy 40th birthday, Brandon. Love Zoe and Nicole. Happy 6th birthday, Bodie. Love Mom, Daddy, Emily, and the rest of your family. And a happy 96th birthday, Baba Ekaterina. Love your family, grandchildren, and great-grandchild Peyton. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
0 degrees is where we're headed today, and that's going to be a slightly below seasonal day. Normal highs this time of year would be about 2 degrees. Now, we did a little bit better than that last year, getting up to 5.5, but all the way back in 1945, 17.8 degrees. Those are the kind of temperatures that I'm longing for, but we're just still in that spring phase of flirting with the warmer weather and then getting smacked back down to the colder temperatures and the winds that have that additional bite, and that's what we're noticing this morning. -10 as a result of the breeze. Feels like -18, and that wind right now is 17 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 87%. That's not an intense wind by any means. It was much stronger yesterday, or over the weekend, for example. Those were intense winds. But today, even that bit of a breeze does seem to have a bit of a bite. There's still some sunshine to enjoy, and in fact, some really cool clouds as I look off to the west right now. But we will see these clouds building up throughout the day. Central and northern Manitoba, considerably colder and well below normal. We've got actual temperatures in around Thompson, -38. That's the coldest spot that we're seeing right now in Manitoba. But you factor in winds, and it's feeling even colder yet, mid-40 wind chill values through parts of the north. It will be fairly clear across northern Manitoba. Here in the south, the clear sky that we're seeing now, or clearish, will be disappearing as some heavier clouds build up throughout the day, bringing some snow tonight.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. A program at Clinic Community Health is available for people who have been sexually assaulted. It's called Hummingbird. Joining us now from Clinic Community Health is the coordinator of the Hummingbird program, Ashley Stewart. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this program is just over 2 years that it's been in the community. Tell us a little bit about what Hummingbird is and how it works exactly.
Absolutely, thank you. So Hummingbird is a multidisciplinary team out of Clinic Community Health, and it's a community-based space to support people who maybe have experienced sexual assault or violence, as well as domestic violence or intimate partner violence. So we have a few different services there. We have advocates who are trained to support people emotionally, walk alongside them if they experience violence. They can help with knowing what some of your options are, like reporting or medical care or counseling, attend court with you, statements, protection orders. We also have specially trained nurses, also called sometimes forensic nurses or sexual assault nurses, who can provide them the medical care, some follow-up, or collect evidence if someone wants. And then, of course, Clinic also has counseling and folks to help with system navigation as well.
Before Hummingbird was in existence, the survivors would have to go to different locations to get the care they needed, right?
Yes, often. So usually folks might go to their family practitioner, would go to an emergency room to get the medical care, and then would go to other different community organizations to get maybe those other forms of healing.
And so that's pretty difficult.
I think it can be difficult to sometimes navigate the system, to go to new locations, and to tell another person what's happened to you and what kind of help you're looking for.
So this is a one-stop shop. What have survivors told you about the convenience of this?
So far, people's feedback has been they've been very grateful and surprised that this exists. You know, they've been really happy to receive that care and community and to get as much as they can in one location. And if there's something that we don't provide, then we really want to help that person navigate what that healing is, you know, what they might need in a different location.
You use the word healing. For sexual assault survivors, having a place to go to get the help and the assistance they need, what does it mean to them knowing they can just access it this easily?
I think it's just that one step in that healing journey for some people to get that help, to tell someone what's happened, because we know a lot of times people are holding that inside, sometimes for years, right? Maybe they feel alone, they're not sure of what their options are. So we want to be that space that someone can reach out and we can kind of walk alongside them and hopefully be that first step.
And so for people with Hummingbird, how many cases have you seen in the 2 years?
So just within 2025, I think we saw over 1,000 people just between the nurses and the advocates. That's not counting counseling. In our first year, 2024, we saw upwards of almost 800 folks.
What do you think is the biggest misconception when it comes to sexual assault, not just for the survivor, but to the entire community?
So I think in the public, we still have a lot of myths and judgments around what sexual violence looks like. It's very very gendered. You know, we also don't remember or look at all genders being impacted, right? Obviously, you know, women are the most highly impacted, but also folks who are non-binary, trans, and men experience this at really high rates as well. And we just want to make sure that people know where those supports are.
Okay, so you have an event coming up. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
We do. So we have a paint night or paint day, which is Sunday, April 26th from 1 to 4 at Clinic. And it's a free event for community. So we're inviting people to come join, you know, enjoy community, enjoy some paint night and some good conversation on the April 26th.
And it's good to have something fun to do at Clinic. It doesn't always have to be the most difficult thing in your life, right?
Correct. We don't want to always have to focus it around talking about what's been traumatic to that person, but to have a day to celebrate each other and again, just to kind of join those connections and relationships in community.
So if someone's watching right now and they have been victimized by sexual assault, what should they do?
They should reach out. We have a 24-hour crisis line. They can walk into Clinic at 167 Sherbrooke and receive help, or they can call to book an appointment, and just to know that there are options, whether it's reporting, getting medical care. Really, that person is the driver and in control of what happens next.
Ashley, thank you for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we have a link on our website.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for that, let's head to South Beach. The Spurs visiting the Heat. Third quarter, San Antonio running the floor. De'Aaron Fox just lobs it up to the big man, Victor Wembanyama, who throws it down. Wembanyama putting Heat rookie Myron Gardner on a poster there with the monster slam. And that is your must-see moment from Monday. Tuesday on TSN, you can see quarterfinal action from the Miami Open, South Beach as well. Coverage starts at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, March 24th. It's the province's budget day in Manitoba. The Premier has already hinted it will contain affordability measures. Where else is the province expected to focus its spending for the upcoming year? Crash aftermath in New York. Transportation officials named the pilots who perished when an Air Canada jet collided with a fire truck on the runway. And a homeowner's patience drained. Residents speak out as water accumulates when icy catch basins can't keep up. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. It's also budget day, and we're going to have Premier Wab Kinew join us at 8:15 to give us a sneak peek on what we can expect when it comes to affordability in this province, as well as how we're going to be spending taxpayer dollars over the next year. But we're also going to hear about a musical theater that is brand new, and it's all-inclusive. It's called Aim for All Musical Theater Company. We're going to get details on its production that's coming up.
Nice.
Well, let's talk about the weather. It's gonna be a windy and cool day today.
It's not going to be as windy as yesterday. It might be a little bit cooler than yesterday. And while I say it's not going to be as windy, you're still going to notice that wind. It's not strong. I mean, a 17K wind isn't really all that bad. It's out of the north-northeast, though, and it does make our actual temperature of -10 feel more like -18. So it does have impact, even though it's kind of lacking in strength, especially relatively speaking, because yesterday or over the weekend, that's when those winds were intense. The pressure was rising, the humidity sitting at 87%. We are still seeing a little bit of sunshine, but the clouds are already starting to build up, and we'll continue to watch those clouds building up here in the southeastern part of the province. Areas through east central, northern Manitoba might stay on the clearer side, but it's even colder yet. You've got actual temperatures in the mid-30s and wind chill values pushing you into the -40s throughout the northern part of the province. And then there's central Manitoba, who will likely be the snowy zone today. There you can see it moving throughout the afternoon today, and then into the evening overnight, sweeping down into the south. So we could start to see those flurries just before midnight tonight, and then watch them continue throughout the day tomorrow. Off and on, that snow stacking up a few centimeters, not a massive amount, but 2 to 3 centimeters throughout the day tomorrow is quite possible, with I guess, what we're going to call a spring snowstorm. It shouldn't be massive, but it's going to cool down just on the other side of that, even though the sky will be clearing out again. So it'll be nice to see the sunshine again after the snow passes, but -8 will be well below seasonal. In fact, that's a normal low temperature. Normal daytime highs, that would be +2. We should get there on the other side of the weekend. 6-year-old Ellis colored our picture for today, and thank you for sharing this with us. So keep the art coming. You now send it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. You fill out the form, enter online, and then you'll be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crock-A-Doodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crock-A-Doodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
The Manitoba government is set to deliver its annual budget today with a focus on affordability and health care. The budget comes down as Manitobans are coping with rising fuel prices and recent spikes in food inflation. The NDP government has already promised to try to keep grocery prices down and has said it might introduce more limits on the price of milk. The budget is also expected to contain promises of more money for health care as wait times remain long. Cabinet ministers in recent weeks have signaled money for nursing training and cardiac care, as well as funding for police and corrections officers. And coming up right here at 8:15 on CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, an exclusive pre-budget chat with Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew. We're hearing from more passengers who were on board the Air Canada plane that crashed at LaGuardia Airport.
You heard the pilot try to brake like he was trying to prevent the collision that occurred. And as you heard the brake, a couple seconds later, it was just a very loud boom.
The U.S. National Transportation and Safety Board has started the investigation, with the Canadian Transportation Safety Board also taking part. The plane's flight data and voice recorders have been taken to Washington for analysis. The air traffic controller involved in the crash will also be interviewed. The plane's 2 pilots died in the crash. They've been named as Antoine Forêt and Mackenzie Gunther. 43 people were taken to hospital. 32 of them have been released. A Winnipeg City Councillor is on the defense after a social media post over the weekend drew criticism over the city's response to frozen storm drains. Janice Lukes wants homeowners to know there are more than 60,000 storm and catch drains in Winnipeg, and the city can't respond to all of them instantly. That's Gurashish Singh in the blue t-shirt and shorts banging away at the blocked drain in front of his street with his neighbor over the weekend. He posted this video to Facebook, tagging the area's city councillor Janice Lukes. In the post, he complained his call to 311 went unanswered, along with calls to Councillor Lukes. He says he called Lukes 15 times, leaving voicemails before taking his frustration to social media. Singh also voiced his frustration over the rising cost of his property taxes versus the lack of service from the city.
I feel that if I'm paying property taxes, I need to be given those services which I'm promised, and that is why when I was told that when I got to know that this is not going to work, I need to take my matters in my own hand. I went and did what I could.
Singh said it took him and his neighbor 2 hours to break up the ice and finally clear that drain, which allowed the water to empty off the street. Here's a look now at the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving quite well in this part of the city, moving quite smoothly. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text and let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Let's go back now to MHC Gallery with our Ainsley McPhail this morning. We're seeing some beautiful art this morning, Ainsley.
Of course, and Manju Lodha joins us now to tell us all about hers. We've seen some of your works. This is Together, by the way, a showcase of multiple artists from different backgrounds and different religions. Thank you for being here once again. Tell us about your art. There's one piece that was inspired by the wildfires that happened here in Manitoba.
Yeah, well, I'm asthmatic and smoke used to bother me, and I thought it must be bothering others too. The forest fires we heard in the news, we saw the pictures. They looked horrible, devastating. So I couldn't help painting. And by painting, I think I can give a message. Ray and I and Assam had gone to many schools, and how our forest fires can affect our environment. It's about that. And then I've also painted about war and peace. No matter where the wars are, it hurts all of us. We are human beings first before we can think of the man-made boundaries, and also our religions or our culture. No matter where the child is, when a child is hurt, it's painful for everyone. The other one shows peace, and it shows that birds, animals, nature, trees, all are important. Water, no matter who we are, we all need water. And music, dance, arts, all are very nourishing to the soul. And it gives a lot of peace. And you see peacocks. I grew up with peacocks. When I woke up in the morning as a child, I used to see a peacock dancing on the roof. So you'll see there are a lot of birds and animals in my art beside people.
That's a beautiful way to wake up. Mine was just my dad, George, yelling at me. Not a very fun alarm clock. Thank you. We're at the Canadian Mennonite University.
Thank you, Ainsley. Crew members and passengers on board the Air Canada Express flight have emerged in the aftermath of the collision. As CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports, they provide more insight into what happened at the moment of the crash and what happened after.
Accounts from some of the 72 passengers reveal harrowing details of what happened on board Flight AC 8646.
You heard the pilot try to brake, like he was trying to prevent the collision that occurred. And as you heard the brake, a couple seconds later, it was just a very loud boom.
Both the pilot, Antoine Forêt from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec, and First Officer Mackenzie Gunther were killed.
These were two young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy.
One of the two flight attendants on board was thrown from the jet, landing on the tarmac about 100 meters from the crash site, still strapped into her jump seat. Relatives confirmed to CTV News that her name is Solange Tremblay and that she was undergoing surgery hours after the crash. The two men on board the fire truck were also injured. Those on board describe chaos and confusion in the aftermath as they sat meters from the mangled cockpit, partially sheared off the fuselage.
And everybody's screaming. Pretty quickly, we didn't have any directions because the pilot's cabin had been kind of destroyed. So somebody said, let's get the emergency exit and get the door in, let's all jump out.
A traveler sitting in the emergency exit row says someone yelled out instructions.
Somebody in the plane had shouted, emergency exits open. So at that time, I pulled the lever down, detached the door, put it to the side of the plane, and a few of us had exited through the emergency exit.
Some also say passengers helped in evacuation efforts.
He smashed his face into the seat in front of him, broke his glasses.
Sarah Dorner's husband, a professor at Montreal's Polytechnic Institute, pitched in.
He smelled gas, so he was encouraging people to just slide down, go down the wing. He was there to catch them.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said his thoughts were with the victims, their families, and all those impacted by this crash. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Here's a look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. So right now, just a few clouds, but later today, a few more clouds, and by tonight, more than clouds, some snow moving in. I know spring in Manitoba, and we're just liking the plus-digit temperatures that we had over the past couple of days and would love to see that trend continuing, but we know how spring in Manitoba goes, and it's always a couple steps forward and more steps back, and it seems like we get nowhere. Well, now it could be winter all over again by tomorrow and getting even colder later on this week. This morning has been getting colder, in fact. We're now sitting at -11, -10 last hour, so dropped another degree. Brandon also joining us at -11. We've got these mid to high minus teens through central Manitoba, and then pushing into the -20s or -30s into northern Manitoba. Shockingly cold for this time of year. I mean, if it was January, this is what you would expect, but it's not. It's late March with April just around the corner. Anyway, factoring in the winds, and here's the good news. Those winds are nowhere near as strong as they've been, say, yesterday or through the weekend, but they do still have a bit of an impact, especially in the far northeast, where it's feeling feeling in the minus 40s this morning. Clear conditions in the far northeast as well. We were on the clearer side. We're going to see these clouds, though, building up throughout the day. And as those clouds stack up, the temperatures will be on the rise, just not quite to seasonal values. Only getting to about -1 by the time kids are coming home from school today. And then 0 degrees are expected. High will be reached around supper time. Snow beginning overnight will continue through the day tomorrow, and following that, the sunshine returns, but temperatures cool off until next week when we're back to seasonal. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Today is Budget Day in Manitoba. This is when we find out how our provincial government plans to spend money in key areas like affordability, health, and education. It's also a chance to get an overall sense of Manitoba's economic outlook. And joining us now to tell us more on what we could expect in this year's budget is Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew at the Manitoba Legislature. Good morning, Mr. Premier.
Hey, good morning, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, it's a big day for Manitoba, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. We're going to have a lot of exciting news to share. I think the big piece of breaking news that I wanted to tell your viewers is that in today's budget, we are taking the provincial tax off of all food from grocery stores. So that means that rotisserie chickens, salads, a case of bubbly, all the stuff that you're grabbing on the way home when you're in a rush and you got to try and put a meal on the table for the family. Right now, you'd be paying the PST. After our budget passes, assuming it passes by July 1st, that will all be tax-free. So we know that the grocery prices have been weighing on a lot of people. We've been studying this issue. We've been taking other steps like freezing the price of milk and increasing competition. But removing the sales tax, the provincial tax off of groceries, just seems like the logical next step and a way to save you and your family money.
That's really going to make a difference for many families, but there's also the cost of fuel on the rise and the overall cost of living putting on the squeeze on our bank accounts. How else are we going to address affordability in this province?
Well, it's huge, right? So we're going to take the tax off of all groceries. We're also going to be increasing the property tax credit to $1,700 this year. So when you got to pay your bills and your mortgage, this is going to put more money back in your pocket. It's going to mean that the middle class, the lower income folks are going to have a huge amount of affordability help. At the same time, if you're renting, we're increasing the renter's tax credit to $675 a year. And you're not going to have to wait to tax time to get that money back. We're going to be sending that money to you directly. So I know the cost of living is huge. We're doing a lot of good things on healthcare too, but taking the tax off for groceries, helping you with your housing costs, continuing that fuel tax reduction that we brought in, these are some ways that we're trying to help you deal with the cost of living.
Okay, well, let's switch gears now to health care. That's also, of course, top of mind for Manitobans. Is there anything in the budget to address that and wait times?
Yeah, definitely. So we're continuing the hiring of healthcare staff. So we've got more than 4,000 new net healthcare workers since we formed government a few years back. But I think one of the key investments that you and your viewers would be interested in is $22 million this year to rebuild the Cardiac Center of Excellence at the St. Boniface Hospital. This is an issue that a lot of people have been concerned about, making sure that if you show up having the symptoms of a heart attack, that you're going to get the care that you need. So what this is going to do is rebuild a program that was dismantled under the previous government. It's going to be called Heart Care Manitoba. And as part of this, you're going to have the specialty service to look after heart health, including women's heart health. But they're also going to be placing a cardiologist in the emergency room, again, starting in July, and in the interim period on sort of a pilot program basis, if you will, for a chunk of each day. So that's going to mean that not only is there specialty care, but there's also, when it comes to heart health, going to be some help in the emergency room as well too.
Okay, and we're still in the midst of a trade war with the U.S. right now. What is the province planning to do to protect jobs here in Manitoba?
Well, we're going to continue building the province, and so you've got investments in building more schools, You've got investments this year in twinning Highway 1 east to the Ontario border. So you're going to see work start along that stretch for folks who are heading out to Lake of the Woods or certain parts of the Whiteshell this summer. And then, of course, the Carberry overpass. Work is going to begin on that major project as well, too. Now, when it comes to future economic opportunities, this budget also has $10 million for a Churchill Catalyst Fund. We know the federal government is interested. We know the private sector is interested. This is going to be an investment in our future. This is like a down payment on future economic growth to get the economic engines roaring here in this province.
Well, you have a large deficit and have promised balance by the end of the term. Will the budget chart towards balancing the books?
Yeah, you're going to see the best deficit number in the country here today. We saw our neighbors in Saskatchewan table theirs. You've seen the budgets out east, out west. Our team has done a very important job doing the same thing that you and your family is doing right now, which is being responsible, making sure that we have the investments that are needed, but that we're also tightening the belts as appropriate. So you will see significant progress today when it comes to the deficit.
Now, the 2026 budget will be tabled at the Manitoba Legislature this afternoon. Thank you for your time today, Mr. Premier.
Thank you, Rochelle. Have a great day.
You too.
Well, it seems Mother Nature is also doing a little bit of budgeting with the sunshine and the warm temperatures. We had been enjoying kind of more spring-like, at least, temperatures. But now all of a sudden it's going to be feeling a little bit colder and looking a little bit grayer as these clouds continue to stack up. Minus 11 is where we're sitting right now. I think I'm even seeing just a few flakes of snow out here at this time. We're dealing with a bit of a breeze. It's out of the north-northeast, 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, humidity at 85%. Certainly some sparkles in the air, and we are likely to see some actual snow, more so overnight and then continuing throughout the day tomorrow. Today, though, yes, a little bit cooler than those temperatures over the past few days. We had been pushing above the freezing mark, and that's not going to be the case today. We'll probably top out at about 0 degrees with a bit of a breeze out of the northeast. And while some parts of the province, mainly through eastern Manitoba and up throughout the north, will be enjoying some sunshine. Here in the south, the clouds building up as we've been watching them do over the course of the morning, and then bringing some flurries. Certainly overnight and more throughout tomorrow. Things will be looking a little bit snowy and wintry. And then following that, by Thursday, temperatures dropping off. And we've got a below seasonal day. I mean, the next couple of days below seasonal, but by Thursday, -8. That would be a normal low. That's likely where we're going to be in the overnight hours and staying cool into the start of the weekend. It's calving season, though. This little guy looking precious. Thanks to Cynthia for the photo. Keep them coming, please, from Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Well, spring break is here, and keeping the kids entertained all week can maybe feel like a bit of a full-time job. So we're talking today about spring break must-haves with Rachel Note. She's joining us today. She's editor of In Between magazine. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning. We're almost there.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Well, let's start with really a great opportunity for some fun family time together.
Yeah, spring break is a great opportunity for those fun family game nights. Our family's favorite gaming system is the Nintendo Switch 2. We're actually great Mario fans, and I was so happy to learn that Nintendo Switch 2 is home to a lot of, our favorite Mario titles like Mario Kart World and Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. We like to host Mario Kart World game nights where it's, it's fast, it's furious, it's chaotic, it's everything you want in a family fun competition. Sure. But we're really excited to see our favorite characters on the big screen when the Super Mario Galaxy movie hits theaters this April. And check it all out, Nintendo.ca.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Now, what do we have to keep the little ones busy during those long trips?
Yeah, whether you're going on a trip, maybe you're staying close to home. If you have little ones, you want to keep them engaged. For that, you want to go to Staples Canada. They are the go-to. They have a curated collection of creative and engaging and travel-friendly products. I picked up this Crayola color and sticker book. This is perfect, I thought, for a plane ride. There's also this rainbow loom, braid, and bead set. This is great for their fine motor skills, and you can do this at home or, in the car. And lastly, if you are staying home, this Banker's Box at Play lemonade stand is so cute. cute. It's easy to assemble. It's cardboard, and it will give your kids hours of screen-free playtime. Pick it all up in-store at Staples or online at staples.ca.
Sounds great. Now, of course, sure, if you're getting on a plane and going somewhere, that's fabulous. If you're staying home, that's great too. But of course, as we all know, here in Manitoba, weather can be a little unpredictable at times. And I think there's days where you just want to stay at home cozy watching something.
Yeah, family movie nights are always fun to have on spring break. Roku family, it's so easy to set up and use. It has a built-in streaming experience. There's no shortage of movies and shows and free content to watch. And the picture and the audio settings automatically adjust with the Roku Smart Picture and Dolby Audio. So it always looks and sounds great. I personally love the Lost Remote Finder and the voice search, as well as the Continued Watch feature. It just keeps everything stress-free.
Yeah. Stress-free, or as close to stress-free as you can, is very important, of course.
Yes.
Well, that said, controlling kids' expenses sometimes can be a bit of a challenge. What help can we get there?
Spring break is fun, but it can be expensive. So that's why it's the perfect opportunity to talk to your kids about money. And that's where Mito comes in. Mito gives kids hands-on experience with managing their own money. It's a simple app that lets kids save and spend in a real world way. That's so hard to say, real world way. Sure. They can make decisions. They can see the impact of those decisions, and they can start building some smart money habits.
Okay.
For parents, it's great because you can send money to your kids automatically. You can track their spending, and you can set some saving goals together. There's no monthly fees, which I love, and kids can spend money on a prepaid Mito card or to use Apple Pay. And check it all out at mito.ca.
Rachel, that sounds smart, not just for kids, but I think a lot of adults too might want to check that out.
I think so.
Sounds good, Rachel. Always such great tips. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Things are moving well in this part of the city. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
There's a look outside. It's minus 11 right now, though it feels like minus 19. And that's all because of the breeze out of the north-northeast. It's 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 85%. It's looking pretty cloudy out there by that particular view. And in fact, we've been watching the clouds building up over the course of the morning. It was quite clear when we started the show. That's not the case any longer, and we'll continue to see those clouds building throughout the day today. Parts of central Manitoba on the eastern side will also see clouds increasing, but it's a band of flurry activity that's going to cut right through central Manitoba. Farther up into the north, it'll likely stay fairly clear today, but it is so chilly throughout northern Manitoba. Temperatures well below seasonal today. We'll be a couple degrees below seasonal here in Winnipeg, expecting a high of about 0 degrees when +2 would be normal for this time of year. We will, like I said, see those clouds building up, so the best chance of sunshine is probably already past. And then tonight, more than clouds, flurry activity beginning as we drop down to -4. Now, that's a fairly mild night ahead. -8 would be a seasonal low temperature, so that's not going to be dropping as far as you might expect for this time of year. But tomorrow, we're barely going to budge from that. So -2, our high. With the snow continuing, things will be looking a little more wintry throughout the day tomorrow, with a couple of centimeters expected. And then on the other side of that, once it clears out, temperatures dropping even further yet. So Thursday, cold. That's a normal low temperature of -8. It will eventually be warming up, but it'll take some time. By next week, we're back up to seasonal.
The Downtown Community Safety Partnership is expanding its camera program. The partnership will gain access to the city and police security cameras, bringing 38 more locations on board.
The Beacon is a CCTV network that's made up of cameras mostly from the private sector and private organizations where they partner with DCSP, where we can live monitor their camera feeds for public safety and wellness concerns.
At this Downtown Canadian Footwear location, several security cameras survey the store, and these exterior cameras trained on the street help Downtown Community Safety Partnership's Beacon program. There are 7 downtown locations with a total of 49 cameras right now. Canadian Footwear joined back in 2023 when the program started. Brian Sharfstein says it's been reassuring.
It certainly gives us the ability to know that on the streets or outside of our store, that there is somebody watching the monitors and being able to see if there are issues or just be able to make sure that everything is safe on our streets.
Joe McDonald of the DCSP says more city and police cameras will join Beacon, bringing the total to about 45 locations and 100 cameras. A spokesperson for Winnipeg Police says their cameras will be connected to DCSP in the near future, adding they won't have access to other non-police cameras. Work on the former downtown Hudson's Bay building is moving forward with the installation of a new design element. The Southern Chiefs organization says the framework for the skylight is now complete. It's inspired by the 1971 film César's Bark Canoe. The wood used is black spruce harvested from Quebec and fabricated right here in Kleefeld, Manitoba. 36 pieces were installed in total. The completion of the wood framework allows the next steps in the skylight installation. Once complete, the $310 million project will include 373 housing units, including some facing the interior atrium.
To make those units more comfortable, and I think that works for the design.
SCO Grand Chief Jerry Daniels tells CTV News the glass still needs to be added to the skylight. He also says the atrium is half completed, plumbing work has started, and crews are framing units on the 5th floor. The building is expected to open in 2028. The runway where the crash took place will not be reopening until Friday, according to the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, which means LaGuardia won't be operating at full capacity for at least the next few days. CTV's John Venevali-Rao on the ripple effects.
At Toronto's Pearson, more than a dozen flights to LaGuardia were canceled this morning, with U.S.-bound passengers expressing both sadness and concern following the crash.
It's obviously tragic. It's terrible. And try not to think about it, really.
It sounds like human error, but it sounds like it's caused from lack of staffing, maybe.
It shouldn't have happened. They'll have to look into the communication between ground crew and the air traffic controllers maybe a little bit.
The shutdown of LaGuardia impacting flights up and down the U.S. Northeast, with the airport on average handling more than 90,000 passengers and 900 flights every day. The closure coming at a tough time for many U.S. travelers, already facing huge delays and lineups at airports across the country.
This is insane. I mean, I've never experienced anything like this.
This the result of a shortage of TSA screeners, many working without pay amid a government partial shutdown. The U.S. president deploying ICE agents today to help ease some of the travel turmoil.
This is probably the worst that we've ever experienced in our 20 years of traveling.
And the crash now adding to concerns about America's air traffic control system being understaffed and its employees overworked. There's been a series of incidents in recent years, including a deadly mid-air collision. And the country's been facing a shortage of around 3,000 air traffic controllers. In audio from the latest crash, a controller can be heard saying, "I messed up."
They're going to look at the workload, how long that controller had been on duty, his past history.
Meanwhile, this afternoon, LaGuardia reopened and flights began resuming. But passengers headed to the States are still being advised to check on their flight status before heading to the airport. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Here's what's happening right now on Portage Avenue. We have a traffic alert to tell you about. Emergency vehicles are blocking the northbound curb and middle lanes on Main at Logan, so keep left to pass. And we have no real delays in this part of the city to tell you about. If you have any other traffic tips or updates, please send us a text. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.73. The provincial average is $1.68. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.70, and the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today we asked, what's the worst part of spring cleaning? Peter says the worst part of spring cleaning is I have 2 dogs in a small yard. Enough said. Yes, I could just imagine. A viewer shared the worst thing about spring cleaning is getting organized. I've been walking around mentally preparing, but haven't even started. Janet texted having her husband try and help with the cleaning. LOL. And Marlene is saying I go through all my clothes and give away, and then we are getting new windows and patio doors, so extra cleaning. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
We've been looking at art with our Ainsley McPhail throughout the morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We're at the Mennonite Heritage Gallery. Sarah's the curator. She joins us now. 3 different things to get through. But first, this exhibition featuring multiple artists from all different backgrounds. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the exhibition is called Together. It features Ray Dirks, Manju Lodha, Issam Abood, and Darshan Singh Tiba. There's actually an artist talk coming up on Saturday at 2 p.m., so it's a great opportunity to learn more about these artists, their faith practices, their culture, and how that all wraps up into their art.
Mm-hmm. And different religions as well, that which plays into a component, but also finds a commonality. We learned about that earlier on in the show.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have a Christian Mennonite artist, a Jain Hindu artist, a Sikh artist, and a Sufism Islamic artist. And that definitely informs their work, but their work really brings a message of friendship and togetherness and love for each other.
It's so beautiful. The gallery is doing such great work to showcase various artists time and time again. In the community gallery, people can actually take home some of these pieces. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we're so excited. The first time we've ever run an art auction fundraiser. So we're calling it Fill the Frames. We're telling people to come on, bid on the artwork. You can also check it out online at cmu.ca/gallery. And help us fill our frames in the gallery, support continued programming while filling your frames at home with some amazing artwork.
I love that. Great idea. Something else that is quite beautiful and quite moving is the Connection Desk. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Connection Desk is a wonderful participatory public art piece by Jillian Crawford. She developed it as she was dealing with some grief after losing her dad. So it's a project really about collective grief and moving through that and remembrance. And it invites you to just sit at a desk, and you can engage through talking to a lost loved one, leaving notes, reading some notes that have been left behind in the desk, and experiencing your grief in that way.
Mm-hmm. I know we're not looking at that one right now, but it was tucked away a little bit because it is such an intimate experience. I hope you guys come by the gallery, do the talk with the artists, or even perhaps come home with some spectacular art.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
It's feeling a little bit chilly, not gonna lie about that. The breeze is nowhere near like as strong as the winds were, say, yesterday or over the weekend, but it does have a little bit of bite. And then every now and then I'm seeing a few rogue snowflakes out here as well. Not enough to say that it's snowing, but we will be using that word to describe the conditions moving in overnight and throughout the day tomorrow. So things could be looking pretty wintry again, even though it's most definitely spring and was feeling like spring, but now it seems we're further from that. Minus 11 this morning, minus 19 is what it's feeling like with that wind factored in, 18 clicks out of the north-northeast, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 85%. But it is always hard to describe what spring is like in Manitoba, and for those of us that have lived here long enough, we know it's a 2 steps forward, 7 steps back kind of spring-like conditions, where it seems like you're making those gains and then suddenly winter moves back in again. Well, things will be looking pretty wintry with snow overnight and through tomorrow here in the south, but even central Manitoba will be seeing that snow throughout the day today. And the cooler temperatures, yes, as cool as it might be today, slightly below seasonal, is going to get even cooler yet throughout the rest of this week before we start to see those temperatures rebounding back up to normal for next week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. Access to prescription medication should be equal for everyone in this country, but a new study shows a startling disparity. And as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, that means differences in health outcomes down the road.
You know, in Canada, we often say that healthcare is free. Well, you can go and see your doctor 10,000 times. But if you're not going to be able to adhere to what your doctor has told you, then we can see maybe these are some of the pathways towards strong disparities in health outcomes of Black people.
And researcher Bukola Salami says that can include cardiovascular diseases, cancers, diabetes, and even mortality. The study took data from the Canadian Community Health Survey over several years, starting in 2015. A total of more than 181,000 Canadians over age 18 were looked looked at, including almost 3,000 Black Canadians and 178,000 white participants.
What we found is that Black people were less likely to, one, have a prescription, prescription drug coverage, and that even after we accounted for prescription drug coverage, age, gender, and several of other factors, they were still less likely to fill a prescription because they did not have the financial means to do so.
U.S. research has shown similar trends.
One of the things we found is that females were also less likely to fill a prescription than males. Because of cost.
And even when cost was a factor for both groups,
Black people were more likely to not fill the prescription at all. White people were more likely to skip doses.
The study authors are calling for more equity-based pharmacare coverage and further research to better understand these discrepancies. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new musical theatre company is bringing in inclusivity like no other company in Canada. The theatre group is called Aim for All Winnipeg, and its musical theatre program will incorporate teens and young adult performers with and without disabilities. It'll offer a safe, creative, and inclusive environment that'll help actors find their skills and possibilities. Joining us now to tell us more about Aim for All Theatre and its upcoming show are Brenda Gorlick and performer and co-founder Janelle Marie-Aymon. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Hello. Well, tell us a little bit about how this idea first came off the ground. This has been something, Brenda, that you've been working on for many years, right?
Yes, and actually my co-founders are Laura Kaliznik, Lois Brothers, and myself. This is one of our lovely performers,
nice.
Janelle Marie. We've been working in the performing arts field forever, and so collectively we saw that there are such wonderful programs in Winnipeg, but there are some gaps. And some of those gaps we chose to fill because we're all musical theater aficionados. And the Aim for All program came from the place, the AIM stands for All Inclusive Musicals.
Fun.
So when we came up with the concept several years ago, we had a pilot program last spring, and this year, as of September, we've been running the program weekly, and we're culminating with a wonderful first production called Dare to Dream Junior.
And this is something that many of the performers would probably never be able to dream about, being on stage like in this capacity, right?
Exactly, but mind you, our criteria for joining the program was having a passion for musical theater. So skills, some of them have more skills, some have less skills, and we're working for the first time with a very fully integrated company.
Okay.
So we've got members of our community that have physical disabilities, that have intellectual disabilities, that are neurotypical, that have been on stage, have not been on stage. We have everyone in the room from age 15 to 60 plus. I'm in the 60 plus range. And so far it's been such a wonderful learning experience from each other, but also with each other.
Right. So Janelle Marie, what has it brought to you, even just being a part of this and then being, because you're a performer in the production as well, what does it all mean to see it all come together like this for you?
Being able to work with different people of all different abilities is a really cool experience for myself, because I was a performer before I ended up in a wheelchair. Being able to be part of a musical and not have to feel like there's barriers of, oh, am I going to be able to do this, or are they going to make it accessible for me, is super cool. I've been meeting some really cool people, all kinds of different skills. We've got really good dancers, we've got tap dancers, we've got amazing singers and piano players. It's really neat to see everybody come together and just be able to work together and be able to put this together, and we're getting very close. We're at our 5-week-ish mark where musical will come together, and it's going to be fun.
And so when you are even practicing, rehearsing, and in the midst of this all, it must just be so liberating for all of you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that feeling of accomplishment and knowing that we can do this just like everyone else can, and there's no stigma. Just being able to be together and work with so many different types, different behaviors, different attitudes, personalities. It makes it fun. It's a good experience. Sometimes, you know, there's a little bit of here and there, oh, we got to bring people back into the group and encourage and stuff, but it's a good learning experience that way too, to be able to work with all different types of people, because just because you're different doesn't mean that you can't perform.
Okay, so let's talk about the show. It's happening in May.
Correct.
And what do you want people to know about the story in the story?
Well, it is called Dare to Dream. It is about people's dreams. It is a Disney review. It's a musical review. We're the first company to have the rights to produce it in Winnipeg or in Manitoba. And it incorporates 28 wonderful performers. We move very quickly from song to scene to show dance number to specialty piece. There are some medleys. There are some compilations of songs. My favorite sequence is called Nonsense Medley. Okay. And it incorporates about 8 different songs that are gibberish based.
That's
that are all
fun.
Disney shows.
Okay, so this is happening May 7th, 8th, and 9th at the U of W Asper Theater.
Correct.
Tickets are available. We have a link on our website if you want more information. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you
so much.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I do love a musical review. All right, outside this morning, minus 11 feels like minus 19, and that's with the wind factored in, of course. Even though the wind nowhere near as strong as it's been, it does have impact 18 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 85%. So you see those clouds, they've been building up over the course of the morning. There you can see them on the satellite image as well, and even closing in through parts of central Manitoba. That's where the snow will be today, although honestly on the rooftop I saw a few rogue snowflakes out there. More likely though to see that snow moving in overnight and then steady throughout the day tomorrow. A few centimeters of accumulation is possible. As it clears out Thursday, temperatures dropping off big time, and it's going to be cool to finish off the work week, slowly warming up for the weekend. By next week, things are getting back to what you would expect this time of year. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we wrap up this Tuesday, we're going to show you some fun video. We start with a monkey birth in the UK that is being celebrated. This is a rollaway monkey, and she's now part of a group considered among the rarest primates in the world. This birth is also a success as mom gave birth months after a complex operation saved her foot from amputation. The surgical procedure was the first of its kind for the species. Oh, little face.
Oh, and now her foot is fixed and she can spend her life chasing after the little one.
Exactly. And a baby boom is also happening at this zoo in Bulgaria. Look at these faces. The zoo recently welcomed 3 lion cubs to its family. They're now getting to know their new home after making their public debut. The lions aren't the only newcomers to the zoo. A baby tiger was also born there last November. The zoo is also a rescue and rehab center, so it's always welcoming new animals. Look at them, little babies. And lastly, a doggy bag means one thing to humans and something completely different for this dog. This cute canine is Keanu, the Pomeranian passenger prince. Ever since his mom got this new tote, he hasn't had a chance to walk at all. He hops right in to go wherever she goes, and now that's a pampered pooch. Indeed. No worries, no dirty paws for that little guy.
And I love it. I love it a lot.
He sleeps in there all day. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.